I always noticed when I was in school that some people seem to just be good at it. Some people have the ability to focus. They come in with their homework done every day, they do well on tests. They sit down quietly and do their work in class. They seem to be interested in what's going on. They seem to give a shit. Maybe you think yourself one of those people. I definitely was not. I've always been a daydreamer, living with my head in the clouds. No ability to focus if I didn't care about what I was trying to focus on. Not at all. Reading a paragraph, just looking at the words, not even taking in the information. And by the time you get to the end of the page, you don't remember the start. I have to read it again. That was always a frustration I had to deal with. And we're always told to dream big. And we're told also that we have to live in reality. It's an oxymoron. They contradict one another. But at some point, you are just living in fantasy land. You're enjoying the dopamine of thinking about how things could be rather than actually trying to do something. The romantic, optimistic part of me feels betrayed by myself for even saying that, because clearly great things are possible. You know, we see people doing amazing things every day. There are people out there that have those rags to riches stories that everybody's heard of and everybody admires. It is possible. You listen to a lot of those people talk, whether it be athletes or musicians, businessmen. They all say similar things. They don't think they're special, and they're probably not. I started training MMA when I was 13 years old, and I thought I was the dog's bollocks. Walking around school telling everybody that my Brazilian brother-in-law introduced me to this fucking cool new sport. Because it was new in Ireland at the time, nobody really knew what it was. But one fella who was a couple of years older says to me, "Have you heard of Conor McGregor?" And I thought, "No, who's that?" Yeah, some Irish fella's in the UFC now. He's fucking sick as well. You have to go fucking watch him, go look him up. So I did, and I became so inspired by his story of what he was doing. Being from practically the same neighbourhood, there's one street that separates Crumlin, where he is from, to where I grew up. Wherever, I don't know exactly what fucking house he grew up in, but it was no more than a 15-minute walk away from where I grew up. And for the next 6 years, that's what I did. It's all I wanted to do. It's what I sat in school thinking about instead of focusing on my fucking work. When I'd go home, it's what I watched videos about. I spent my free time practicing at home, working out, because I was going to be a MMA fighter like Conor McGregor. The inspiration overwhelmed me. The vision and the idea that someone in my position could get to his position. The dream, the fantasy. And it fed my ego so much that any gym I went to, any coach I trained with would tell me I had the potential, and they would give me all the attention, more so than other people in the classes. To the point where it was my growing ego that I enjoyed more than the work itself. The idea of the potential outcome at the end is always more tempting than the work itself. More appealing, I should say. And I started to notice that at some point along the way. But when I was maybe 18, my friends started introducing me to some new music. I remember the moment. It was the day Astroworld by Travis Scott came out. And we sat around a speaker, almost like a little listening party. And we listened to the whole album. And I was obsessed with the production of it. I couldn't understand how they were able to make those sounds come out of a speaker. And it bothered me that I didn't know. I needed to know. And being the optimistic fantasizer that I am, I thought, yeah, I could do that. And that was it. Obsessed. That took over my mind the same way MMA did. The idea of being in Travis Scott's position and living the life that he's living by doing this thing was far too appealing. I couldn't stop dreaming about it. It took me until the next year, a little bit more, slowly losing interest in my training. I didn't even have a laptop or anything at this point. I couldn't work on beats. It was just the daydreaming. The idea that I believed I could do what these people are doing, that I could make it happen. And when finishing school, which is a pivotal moment in everybody's life, you have to decide, am I going to college? We're brainwashed into believing we have to go to college, or you have to do something with your life once you finish school. I thought, yeah, I think I'm going to stop training, because I realised that I don't think I actually want to fight people for a living. It was just the idea of the dream, the potential outcome of going for this goal. And in retrospect, I see that in myself again. just daydreaming and fantasizing about what could be rather than wanting to do the work. And I was in denial about it for a long time. It's only now, after being removed from it for a couple of years, that I'm able to look back after growing up a little bit as well, and to be honest with myself that that's how I am and how a lot of people are. And now I'm back at square one, looking to change directions again, but haven't found that next thing to be passionate about. And I still feel like I'm betraying myself. I still believe that great things are possible. I don't think I'm special. I'm not saying that I can do so much better than everybody else. But you have to dream on. But from what I've learned from my life so far is dreaming isn't enough. You have to go out and make something happen at some point. Otherwise you just sit around pretending to read, not absorbing any information at all, just fantasizing. Your priorities change as you get older. At 24 now, I don't care about the ego of everybody thinking that I'm the man because I'm the MMA guy. I don't care about the fame and the money and the women that a musician might have. I'm more interested in just living a full life, living for experience, being able to share stories, give people advice, doing this, hoping that by sharing my stories, people can find some value in it and apply it to their own lives. Learn from others' mistakes. I want to be able to say, I've seen it all. That's my next goal. I'm learning a third language, increasing the population of people that I'm able to speak to, seeing more parts of the world, seeing some more shit that maybe I wish I hadn't seen, seeing some more shit I'm glad I've seen. Because at the end of a life, I think that's all that really matters. That you've lived your life.